Sotero Figueroa Hernandez was born on March 3, 1851, in the city of Ponce, Puerto Rico, in a colonial society deeply structured by racial hierarchy. During the 19th century, Ponce had become one of the main urban centers in the southern part of the island, and one of the communities with one of the largest Afro-descendant populations, both enslaved and free. The development of sugar and coffee plantations in the region had concentrated a large number of black workers. And over time, an important community of free black and mixed-race people emerged in the city, engaged in urban trades. This social environment, although marked by discrimination, offered certain opportunities for occupational mobility and access to technical trades that did not exist with the same intensity in other parts of Puerto Rico. Sotero Figueroa's development must be understood within this context, that of a city where the black population was numerous and where some Afro-descendants were able to enter skilled occupations and achieve social advancement. From a young age, Sotero Figueroa received a basic education and developed a largely self-taught intellectual formation, cultivating reading and writing skills, as well as practical knowledge related to printing and administration. For a black man in Puerto Rico before the abolition of slavery in 1873, access to any form of education and to an intellectual profession represented an exceptional path of advancement within limits that challenged the established social order. In Ponce, there was a strong tradition of craftsmanship and printing, which allowed some men of humble backgrounds to enter the world of written production. Figueroa trained as a typesetter, proofreader, and editorial worker, thus entering one of the few spaces where Afro-descendants could participate in the circulation of political and cultural ideas. During the 1870s, he worked in printing shops and collaborated with local publications, building a reputation for his discipline, precision, and organizational ability. However, his trajectory reflects the contradictions of the racial system of the time. Although his work was essential to the functioning of the journalistic world, the positions of greatest visibility and public leadership remained largely reserved for white sectors and the Creole elites in Puerto Rico. Sotero Figueroa's experience illustrates the reality of many Afro-descendant intellectual workers in 19th century Puerto Rico, whose contributions were essential but were often made invisible in history books. The repressive political climate of the final decades of Spanish rule, along with the surveillance of reformist and autonomous sectors, led many workers in journalism and the printing trade in Puerto Rico to emigrate. By the late 1880s, Figueroa moved to New York, where he joined the community of Puerto Rican and Cuban exiles. For Afro-Antillians, New York City offered a relatively more open environment, although segregation and discrimination against the black population remained strong in the United States. In New York, he reached the most significant stage of his life by becoming one of José Martí's closest collaborators. Sotero Figueroa carried out key roles as an administrator, typesetter, and proofreader for the newspaper Patria, the official organ of the Cuban Revolutionary Party. His work ensured the material production of the Independence Project and the daily functioning of the organization. He remained connected to political and community networks from within the diaspora. In his later years, he returned to Puerto Rico and lived quietly until his death on July 23, 1923. His death went largely unnoticed outside intellectual circles. The importance of Sotero Figueroa lies in the fact that, as a black man in a time when segregation was legal, he contributed directly to the development of Puerto Rican national thought and to the ideal of Antillean unity. His work in journalism and editing helped spread ideas of identity, independence, and Caribbean unity, reflecting the essential, though often overlooked role of Afro-descendant intellectuals. His trajectory shows the importance of urban black communities, especially in cities such as Ponce, where there was a significant base of free, educated, and working Afro-descendant people were fundamental to the development of the Puerto Rican press. His life helps us understand that Puerto Rico's intellectual history was not shaped solely by white elites, but also by black men who, from technical and educated positions, sustained the cultural and political projects that helped shape our national identity. If you made it this far, follow us and keep learning more about the history and richness of our Afro-Boricua culture.